Schiphol terminal is shut and deserted. And in Dover, some traffic was coming in on ferries from France, but nothing was going the other way. Hundreds of trucks now sit in this giant lorry park in what used to be Manston Airport, while others are waiting wherever they can find space. Polish driver Greg Mazurek was among hundreds waiting for news.
It's disaster for me, you know, it's first time I'm here in UK and like a driver, and it's it's terrible. If, as I said, if I knew one
just creating that absolute fucking chaos.
Hey guys, I'm not
creating chaos.
UK border will close in one day. I never came.
No logic in this whatsoever.
You'll get home for Christmas?
Zero logic.
I don't know. I hope, but I don't think so.
It's not clear precisely how many lorries are now parked up around Kent.
And what's on all the lorries? Food.
The welfare of the stranded drivers, forced to spend days confined to their
Food shortage coming, eh? Is that what it is?
The welfare of these drivers should be top of our minds at the moment. We should be treating them much
The welfare of every single person on the fucking planet should be at the top of his minds. But it isn't, it's at the bottom.
Our manufacturing sector working, but also get our British goods to market around the world.
There you are, she said it, British goods.
And getting us jobs.
What do you think this fucking thing is for? Halting them all. Stop the goods, you daft cow, you just said it.
And developments are likely later today. The border was closed because of French concerns about a new and highly infectious variant of the coronavirus.
Fucking variant, highly infectious. Wait, who fucking thought of that?
Testing for drivers.
Testing of some sort is under.
There's a fucking dictator for you right there.
Secretary is having with his counterpart in France right now.
She knows the script.
Getting those tests up and running, you know, can happen relatively quickly, but in terms of the details of that, that is something that both the Transport Secretary and his
nobody would have an opportunity to speak if they weren't towing the line.
You know, the nature
it's as simple as that.
That could be up and running.
What form those tests could take, though, is still not clear. The UK is known to favour so-called lateral flow tests, which offer rapid results. France prefers a lab-based test, which is slower but seen as more reliable. Yet authorities in Calais have made it clear they want an agreement quickly.
I am very sad and I hope...
They don't want any agreement, there is nothing out there. It's all rubbish, pantomime. Fucking pantomime, all of it is.
It's necessary, if that is a condition for the audience to come back to France, please start as soon as possible the test.
Didn't get told weeks ahead about a possible variant, did we? Oh no, it is like a fucking bombshell. Oh, all of a sudden, there's a variant, new strain. Oh, it's mutated.
So with so many lorries back,
get
fucked.
Let's
talk about the impact on business with our business editor Simon Jack. What have you been told, Simon?
Well, I think this is a very clear demonstration, Hugh, of just how vital this crossing is. Easily the most important trade route in the UK, possibly in Europe. And when it blocks, things start showing up quite quickly and profoundly. Just this morning, Toyota announced it was shutting down its production facilities in the UK and France at lunchtime today because they were
electric cars, remember?
The other thing that people will notice, of course, is
slowing down on everything, the economy. Shift over to what's on the reset fucking panel.
They say there are empty shelves, but that is not
ending cars. Just heard it, Toyota.
They will be replenished overnight, but people are buying more quickly.
I think we're stupid, don't they?
Restocked. One person said to me, there are lots of mini Christmases now going on. People who might have been going to parents or relatives are having to recreate those at home because of the restrictions. Always busy at the time, but while people are buying heavily, they are buying rationally. There's no panic buying.
Closing down the old system.
Said they see no reason to introduce
get rid of the old system.
On many staples. Another major supermarket.
Restart the new fucking system. Reset.
On pasta, rice, hand wash, etc. Again, not because they're running out, but to spur demand.
Look, pasta, rice. Oh no, not because it's running out.
We'll start to
that's what you need to be stocking up on, folks.
After Boxing Day, as early as the 27th of December. And business very keen to point out, we've got Brexit coming down in 9 years.
Old man in the chair. The food shortage told us, remember?
Close to death are saying in
months and months ago.
Drill, rehearsal.
Old man in the chair.
Plans to stress test those ahead of the possible congestion.
You know who he is?
Whether it's useful, I think that's a sentiment that
stock up on food.
David would find hard.
Trucks are being stopped and shipped.
Well, Simon, many thanks.
With all supplies on it.
We'll go to Dover.
What's that going to lead to?
Correspondent there, Caroline Davis. Caroline, you've been talking to people there today, and we saw all those images of the lorries backed up there on the motorway and in car parks. Bring us up to date on what's happening.
Well, as you can see behind me here, a protest has taken place, a spontaneous protest in the last hour or so. People becoming incredibly frustrated at the fact that the Dover crossing is still closed.
They'll put the trucks in places where it's going. They're going to stop fucking shit. Not parked up nice and neat. They won't put the trucks in a position where they're going to call the shots. That's what they need to do.
A tier 4 area. There are locals who are also
Government will fucking fear something then.
to go to the shops. Of course, there are very few amenities here. Many of the lorry drivers I spoke to today were concerned about the fact that they didn't have any showers. Many of them couldn't find any toilet facilities either. So really,
as long as they've got bog roll, they'll be all right.
Here in Dover.
That was the most vital thing, wasn't it, for everybody? Toilet roll.
That the EU transport staff
sanitizer
should be exempt from travel restrictions and from mandatory testing. At the moment, all we know is that French and British governments' discussions about this are ongoing.
Caroline, many thanks for the update there in Dover. Caroline Davis, our transport correspondent. Well, as we said, the transport chaos has been caused in the main by widespread concern about the
Dover,
spread
bend over, getting fucking shafted.
Some experts say it's transmitted more easily. The UK's top scientist, Sir Patrick Vallance, warned that further restrictions would probably be needed in more areas. In England at present, some 17 million people are under Tier 4 rules. That's the highest level, where people are being told to stay
There's no tiers.
To leave the area. Scotland is moving.
I'm living in Tier fucking 0.
Boxing Day.
Fuck off, Johnson.
Will begin a lockdown on the same day. And Wales, where the NHS is under great pressure, has already entered a new national lockdown. Our health editor, Hugh Pym, has more details.
On the NHS front line in South Wales,
more fear-mongering campaign footage going on here.
And the virus is said to be running rampant in local communities.
That guy could be in for fucking out. All these here could be in for fucking anything. That guy could have worked in a fucking mine.
Very scary.
He got fucked up lungs from years ago.
And I'm off oxygen, feeling stronger all the time, you know.
This guy's fucking smoked fucking 60 fags a day since his fucking age of 10.
Tougher than during the first wave.
A lot of people caught COVID back then, but because we had other staff to fill in for them, we were able to even it out. Whereas now the hospital is back up to above full capacity, so we have
above full capacity.
All the UK's nations have come up with new restrictions to try to curb the virus, with London streets, for example, a lot quieter. There's speculation in England now over whether tough measures might be extended more widely.
Oh, how they be extended?
Tier system in England. The dark red area, London and the North East, is in Tier 4. With
the next ones don't come out of your house.
The spread of the variant of the virus.
Absolute lockdown. You're seen out of your house. That'll be next.
Bordering that Tier 4 block.
Seeing out of your house, fucking you get nicked or some shit, fines or all that. Always threaten you with fines. That's how this government. That's how we've run for years now, isn't it? Fines, 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 fines.
Cases have gone up a bit since early.
Find some fucker who ain't got a penny scratch the fucking ass with. How do you fucking pay a fine?
Closest to the southeast and Tier 4, and you can see infections have gone up a bit since early December.
Fucking speed cameras on the roads for fucking safety, my fucking ass. They're not for safety, fucking revenue.
Doesn't respect boundaries.
Money.
There have been calls for every area to be put on the same footing.
And who's paid for the speed cameras on the streets? The fucking people, taxpayers. So you're paying for your own enslavement. That's how fucking stupid these people are.
And hospital admissions, for instance, are like shooting up in the south, and they're not yet in the north, and we just don't want to see it everywhere.
There have been warnings, though, that further lockdowns might be damaging for people's.
There's a lot of crackheads in my town. There's a lot of crackheads everywhere. That's the only thing you know what's shooting up. Every fucker's shooting crack up the veins. That's the only thing shooting up.
Of lockdown for people's mental health and the implications of not getting that.
No virus shooting up. Fucking crackheads shooting up.
Intensifies. Questions have been asked about why the Nightingale hospitals are not being put to greater use.
They are.
Exeter is the only one currently taking COVID patients.
Quite a few have mentioned this to me about this Nightingale. So rammed to capacity, fucking virus out of control. Nightingale's empty.
But what you can't do is create a highly skilled member of staff who can.
Oh, they've got an excuse for it. Why no fuckers there, have they?
NHS England says the Nightingales are there as a backstop and will be used if needed.
If needed.
That could yet happen.
Oh, it could yet happen. Oh, it will happen. Yeah, you know, we know why it might happen.
Look at the latest government figures.
Just
we'll
get plenty more thousands of people vaccinated. You watch it start filling up.
24-hour period. The average number of new cases reported per day in the past week is now 31,743. 1,909 people have been admitted to hospital on average each day.
For what? For what? Go on then, tell us for what.
People who died within
they just want us to assume it's all for COVID. Nobody's been admitted for anything else. It's only COVID, isn't it?
It takes the total number of deaths so far across the UK to 68,307. As I said, Hugh is with me, our health editor, Hugh Pym. Let's just draw these strands together, Hugh. We're looking there, of course, at the...
This bugs me. He talks across to him like he's looking at some fucking professor. All he's reading is a script.
Figures that we've just heard make pretty grim reading. The number of new reported cases for a day, just under 37,000, up 61% week on week. Hospital admissions around the UK up 18%. And against this backdrop, the administrations around the UK are working to try to come up with a solution.
You know.
In Scotland, the government has said it may take its level 4, the highest level. Whole of mainland Scotland is due to move on to that on Boxing Day. It may take it
ramping up the fear
level of restrictions, for example, tightening up definitions of which shops.
Anyway, you'll put fucking fear up me, Johnson.
There's a meeting
as if you come round my house and put a fucking double-barreled fucking gun in my fucking mouth. That's when I start having a fucking fear. Won't be for fucking none of this shit you're spinning.
Tomorrow at some stage. So we're only a couple of days away from Christmas, but the NHS.
In fact, I'm feeling like you might as well pull the fucking trigger and all.
Busier. And,
what do you call this, a fucking life?
Of the UK will have to keep on working to try to find out something.
Your life's being taken away from you as we speak.
Hugh Pym, the health editor, with the latest.
Eroded.
We've heard leading scientists say that they have high confidence that the new variant of the virus is easier to transmit than other variants. But there are many unanswered questions about the characteristics of the new variant and how it's managed to become the dominant strain within just a matter of months. Our science editor, David...
Matter of months? We've only known for about a week or two, haven't we, about this so-called variant, fucking mutation.
Genetic clues about how the virus is changing. The UK does more of this than any other country. Maybe that's why the new variant was spotted here first.
You've got to have a new variant. You've got to have a new variant, you know.
Seem to cause infections more easily.
How do you keep the bogeyman alive unless you're going to keep fucking hyping shit up, man?
Data shows how the new variant has been found across
this reminds me of something else from years ago. You remember Bin Laden?
Confirmed in the Netherlands, Denmark, and Italy.
Kept that cunt alive for years, didn't he, in his fucking psyche?
Australia has found it.
No one ever fucking saw him.
Say the new variant may become.
But he was alive in his fucking brains, wasn't he?
At the moment, the trajectory is clearly that this is increasing extremely rapidly.
Till they had enough of the cunt.
Also, we saw a variant.
And then told us they fucking got him and
becoming dominant form in the earlier parts.
Buried him at fucking sea within 3 days because that was his religion.
That previous variant.
And yet we were told he fucking slaughtered 3,000 people in Twin Towers.
Can handle the new variant. Everything so far.
We had that much fucking.
The scientists behind the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine.
American government's hearts poured out for him to make sure they buried him at sea within 3 days because it had to be done because that was his religion, you know.
Virus variants with different type of mutations.
Sorry to go off on a tangent there, but you know, it's unreal, isn't it, what's gone on in history? People have been fucking swallowing the garbage constantly.
In this virus protein.
And what does the new variant mean for when we'll get out of this crisis? Well, one estimate...
You always need a bogeyman.
...says the most vulnerable people and healthcare workers may be immunised by the middle of next April if everything goes according to plan, and 67...
How do you defeat an unseen enemy?
...by mid-July. That would achieve what's called...
It can go on and on and on and on, can't it?
The virus can't spread much more. But because the new variant seems to infect people more easily, it could be that 80% of the population has to be vaccinated to achieve that herd immunity, and that would take longer, maybe running into next August.
Oh, keeping everyone in lockdowns creating herd immunity then, is it?
Whether children are more at risk from the new variant.
They talk about herd immunity, but they don't want any fucking meeting up.
But scientists are watching closely.
And from the labs that found the variant, a message has been relayed by the World Health Organization to make sure that when every country tests for the virus,
World Health Organization,
the new version. David Shuckman, BBC News.
Now, the European Union's chief negotiator, Michel Barnier, has told EU ambassadors that fisheries remains the biggest obstacle.
I'm not recording any of this fucking Brexit shit. I'm sick of the shit. Should have come out 3 fucking years ago when we voted out. I put an X on a piece of fucking paper for vote out. I didn't vote no fucking deal. They fucking shafted us all. Should have been out within fucking months. They ain't coming out of fucking Brexit. It's a load of bullshit. They're just spinning us a load of crap, man. Load of bullshit. We ain't coming out of fucking European Union. What would they want to set up one world fucking European government, one world European fucking army? We're coming out of the EU. We're going to be telling us we're going to become an independent country. Utter fucking shit. Sorry for swearing and that, guys, but I got a phone earlier on talking to my fucking brother. He was telling me about what's going on at the medic. He'd seen on telly or something, and I got in a bit of a rant with him and that, and it got me all wound up and shit, and I think I'm still fucking fired up from it. This is how it gets you, innit? What a fucking world we're living in, folks, eh? What a fucking world. And people think this is life half of these goons what are believing what's actually happening. Begging for the fucking lockdown, begging for the fucking vaccine. It's fucking unreal, innit? What limit do these people have to fucking witness before they'll actually fucking realise and understand what's going on isn't what is truly going on? Sometimes you get lost for fucking words, don't you? It's going to get a lot worse, I think. Yeah, it's going to get a hell of a lot worse. Well, I ain't fucking stopping meeting up with any fucker for fucking Christmas. I mean, I'm not a great fan of it, and I'm not the greatest socialiser, but I won't be complying to none of this fucking shit.
We meet the scientists who are working to make singing safer during the pandemic.
Oh my lord.
And in the northwest at 6:30 we'll meet Mansour, the community...
Make singing safer during the pandemic.
And children come together for a memorable finale to a year none of us will ever forget.
Is there fucking any form of stupidity what cannot reach an higher level than this?
Now, homeless charities have written to the government asking them to spend more money on trying to prevent young people from...
Jesus.
The charity Centrepoint say young people are facing a winter like no other, with rising levels of homelessness among those aged 16 to 25. Ministers say that they're investing over £750 million to tackle homelessness.
They don't give a shit about homeless people. They don't give a shit about nobody.
Affairs correspondent Michael Buchanan has been speaking to 2 young people
Jesus.
who are homeless.
If you can get soldiers come back from Iraq and be on the streets, do you really think they asked about these young folk?
My family.
They never asked.
I was just walking up and down with my black bags, staying in park benches, staying in tower blocks and stuff like that.
The city is a lonely place when you're homeless. Time, a constant.
I can't imagine what these people feel like.
6 weeks sleeping on London
Got to be grateful I'm in a bloody house.
It cost the 20-year-old his job in construction. Tensions built up at home. His mother couldn't cope.
My mum calls me and she said, yeah, she can't manage no more, and she said, she doesn't want me back at the house. The locks were changed and everything. I think at the time I was kind of scared because I basically don't have a home anymore to go to and stuff like that, The little clothes and stuff I had.
This is where you have got to be grateful hearing these type of stories.
Stolen from me while I was sleeping.
You've got a bloody bed lying, a cosy bed, cosy house.
More young people sleeping on London streets than ever before. Figures have risen by almost 50% in a year. More than 1 in 10 of all rough sleepers are aged between 60
and that's all by sheer accident, is it?
And the problem is not confined to the capital. In Brighton, charities say they saw a 60% rise in homelessness among young people.
All by accident.
Lockdown. At this soup kitchen, I've seen a new trend. Children coming through.
We are seeing more and more young people, even under 16, like 14 and 15-year-olds that are spending maybe 1, 2, 3 nights in the street.
You can't believe this, can you?
Older guys and drinking, taking...